Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'm Reverend Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, I'm delighted to be able to share this time and my message with you each week on Sundays at 11:11 or wherever, whenever you want to plug in the future. So sorry about last week having to cancel, but you may be able to see that the house is a little bit in disarray right now because we are in the middle of a renovation here. And because of that, I have uh, every room is torn out. The bedroom, master bath, ripped out, and most of the stuff is here. My feet are trying to find a place to stay. I had to clear a space here on the table. It's been a lot of work, a lot of mess, but a lot of fun too. And I'm really excited about seeing the final result in a couple of months. So interestingly enough, just a little backstory on this, hadn't really planned on doing all this. We had met with someone about doing a new deck, which we're going to have put in because the one we have with that was original, the house is in beyond repair. So we got all into that. We're excited. And I had mentioned to Ellen just on the side, maybe we could perk up our bathroom a little bit and just get some new fixtures and things like that. Talk to our contractor. He in turn introduces us to this wonderful interior designer. And now we have the bathroom is completely bare, new cabinets coming, new bathtub, new wallpaper, new everything. The bedroom is totally going to be restored and redone, and we're even going to have a library put into this loft right back here. So how did that happen? I have no idea, but hey, it's fun, and I'm excited and grateful that we can do this, and just makes our house better for being able to entertain and support our friends when we can. So there's the little backstory. So happy Sunday. And as always, if you're willing to pass this along to your friends via Facebook, YouTube, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/InspireUTV, Inspire YOUTV. Okay, enough of the sales pitch. Here we go. So first off, I want to just send loving prayers out to the world, really, and particularly all those family members and friends, close friends of President Carter. He has moved into hospice care at home. It appears this is the end of his days, and there is not a man more prepared for transition, I don't think, on the planet than President Carter. He has done a beautiful service while he was here, and heaven will be blessed by welcoming him and having him up there, and he'll be with us from above. So in the meantime, yes, he inspired me in so many ways, and all politics aside, he was a humble man, a kind man, a generous man, and a servant. And demonstrated, really what it means to be a human here on earth and walking the path of Christ consciousness, or of goodness and kindness, through his service and through his message and who he was. So my topic today is interestingly enough aligned with this. I always love how Spirit just sort of makes these things happen. I just sort of, sometimes I get a download in the middle of the week, sometimes Sunday morning. I never really know, but I do trust the process and know that what I'm supposed to speak on each week will come to me at the appropriate time. So actually, prior to hearing of this current situation with President Carter, I had just finished watching the last episode. We have binged the past 2 weeks, the New Amsterdam on Netflix. And I don't know if you all have watched it. It's addicting. It's very good. It's a great show, and the characters are awesome. You really get connected to them, and the storyline is great. There is a lot of surgery and blood, which I could do without. But other than that, it's a great show. And what inspired me with this was the very first episode, and I think I spoke about this a few weeks back. The new director of the hospital, that was where it started, the first episode, and he comes in and he's speaking to his colleagues, all the doctors, in an auditorium, and he was young, ambitious, and his mantra from that day forward was, "How can I help?" And he definitely is a helper. It's kind of like Mr. Rogers, be a helper. He definitely is a helper in this role, but he inspired other people to be their best selves. And he also really I look at this through that desire and intention and putting it out there. How can I help? He opened himself up to receive divine guidance and inspiration. So it's very well done. It's creative. The only thing I will say, we watched 4 seasons. I believe it was 80 episodes. And not a spoiler alert, I'm not going to tell you, but I was a little like, the last episode was like, really? So not going to tell you what it was. It was, I wish, well, doesn't matter. Just wasn't really what I was expecting. So how can I help? We're going to talk about that today. And, this show, The New Amsterdam, it is about a public hospital in New York City. All the things that go with it. It did a beautiful way of weaving current world situations into the hospital environment. And also went through the COVID crisis and all sorts of things, weather situations, and a lot of just, personal stories I think we can all relate to, either personally or just from the media and what's going on in the world and how they responded to this. So it really brought a beautiful light to how we can deal with day-to-day life. And isn't that what it's all about? Well, I believe that this is a time of great awakening, transformation, shift, and things are rocking and rolling in a pretty intense way on the planet. And I'm still just these people in Turkey, amazingly, they're still finding survivors, which is beyond, it's a miracle, truly. There's crises, Ukraine and Russia, and there's crises all over the world right now, weather intensity, and people are searching for meaning, for answers, for safety, for peace, for support, for connection. And it is a worldwide awakening and a revival at this point. And I've been really interested in this Asbury University in Kentucky. I don't know if y'all been following this story, but if you haven't, just look it up online. You'll find lots. But it's a Methodist college university. I think it was founded in 1890, I believe. And it is a Christian school founded on Methodism, Methodist principles. And they have 3 days a week in the morning prayer service for the students. And the students, I believe, are required to attend. And on February 8th, today is the 18th, so 10 days ago, they had their typical service. And at the end, from what I understand, a young man got up, gave a testimony, and whatever happened, the skies opened up in a beautiful way. And that revival, or that prayer service, has turned into a revival. And people are literally coming from all over the world. It has not stopped. It's gone 24/7. People are giving testimonies. There's pictures of light coming in, which is just so beautiful. And it's just been a real revival of the Spirit of Christ in a huge way. So I look at that as a great message. I always pay attention to what's going on. And I do see that there's messages and things and meaning and everything. And I observe and I watch, and this is fascinating to me, what's happening. And, I take this as a true sign from God. It is God coming in saying, you're safe, you're protected, trust me, focus on the Christ light within you, and all is well. But it's a bigger message about coming together and supporting each other and helping each other. How can I help? And it is an amazing story. And I do choose in my teaching, because I've spent many years studying many perspectives. I choose to find the universal thread that flows through all religions and spiritual teachings and philosophies, and what God is, who God is, and who God is to us. And so I'm not here, although this is a Christian church revival, and I did grow up Methodist, so I do feel a connection from that perspective as well. I also look at things from more of a universal perspective, and whether this was happening in any part of the world, it's something big. And this creator of all that is, the love and light of God, is coming in to be with us through this difficult journey, if we choose to plug into it. And in the meantime, we do have our little soldiers for love here on the planet. And what are we going to do with our bodies, our life? How can we bring more peace and love and light in the world? In other words, how can I hope, or how can I help? So, well, we're going to talk about that right now. Well, one thing, I was speaking to a friend a couple of days ago, and she and her mother had been to see Greg Braden in Sea Island, Georgia. And he was speaking about resilience. And interestingly enough, I do find, I'm a big follower of Greg. I love Greg. I love Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza. And there's so many people out there, Christiane Northrup. The list is endless of people that I really resonate to in their message. And his perspective is so much, I love it when the universe confirms and unifies without, I hadn't really followed that much about this particular part of what Greg's teaching now, but it's about resilience through times of turmoil and crisis and change, and how we can be most present and peaceful and powerful through this process. And speaking of resilience, as we've got to really keep our vibration high. I'm also a fan of Pam Gregory, and as I said, Christiane Northrup. Everybody's really saying the same thing. We've got to keep our vibration high. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by lots of things. There's lots of things we can do to support our vibration, keeping it high, keeping it above the battleground, keeping our bodies and our minds and our hearts strong. And so we really need, at this time more than ever, to build ourselves up. And by doing that, that means body, mind, and spirit. Eat good food, supplementation, that you're drawn to or advised to partake in. Fresh air, nature, exercise. I just read an article, and I know this to be true. If you want to live a long, healthy life, what's the number one thing you can do? They say walk minimum of 30 minutes a day. That's a great start. So walk. I've been really focusing on more exercise, prayer, connection with spirit, and filling up our hearts and our minds and our body with the light and love of God, the Christ consciousness. And when we do all this, we're raising our vibration. And not only is it going to enable us to be more resilient personally, but it's also, as we know, if you tune into me regularly, that we are all connected, and we're vibrational beings. So every thought, every feeling that we have is not only impacting us personally and individually, but it's impacting the entire quantum field of the universe, really. So the more we work on our own resilience, work on our own healing and our own vibration, everybody is lifted by that. So I feel that that's the number one thing we're here to do. Heal yourself first. It's kind of like put the oxygen mask on first. You know, how many times do we hear that on the airplane? Put that on first, and then we're able to be in a much better position to serve others, each other. Well, yesterday, this is another miracle story. I think everything's a miracle, right? That's what we're here to realize. Everything is a miracle. But a few months back, I had seen an interview about this bioscalar technology. It's the energy enhancement system. And it's a healing system, and it works with scalar vibrational energetic energy and light energy. And it infuses your body with this energy to make your body, they claim, and I understand this, and I do understand also that how we heal, the energy that makes the body heals the body. Okay. So what this technology does is creates an environment in your body so it can begin to heal itself or put your body back into homeostasis. So what happened was when I watched this interview months back, well, let me back up. Prior to that, I've been hearing about med beds for years now, and med beds are technology that from what I understand, you get in this chamber and it just heals you through this energy. And I don't know a whole lot about the particulars of it, but it intrigues me that is in the works and actually out there, and that there are healing tools out there that work with the vibrational field and work with the true aspect of healing. You know, rather than putting a Band-Aid on it, it really gets to the core of healing. So the med bed struck an interest in me. And then I hear about this EES, the Energy Enhancement System. Okay. And this interview, I said, oh my God, Ellen, we got to buy one of these. And we were looking around and we didn't pursue it that much, but as the universe, you know, I just sort of let it go. But I certainly been poking around, reading articles, this and that. Interestingly enough, I think that, first of all, we have, I'm in the point in my life now where I don't want to gather more stuff. I want to let go of stuff like this online ministry. I've operated centers for many, many, many years, 25 years. And it's very nice just to be able to do everything virtually. So I'm kind of in the point of my life where let other people have the opportunity to do these things. And rather than being the instigator, I'll be just the participant. So I think the universe was saying, don't buy one of those, you'll be okay. Sure enough, I get an email last week that guess what? This technology has come to Hendersonville, North Carolina. They've got a really beautiful building. They've got the highest, what would you call it? The highest level of this system. And it's right here in our backyard, right? So very cool. I didn't have to buy it. Ellen and I tested it out yesterday. Wonderful people, very excited. And it's there. If you go online, you can do a little research, just look at the EES system. The woman who founded it years back, her name is Sandra Rose Michael. Watch her videos. It's really unbelievable. And I think it is the technology of healing in the future. So this is exciting. We went and immersed ourselves in that day yesterday, learned more about it. I bought of course, I had to buy the charge necklace, which is giving me a vibrate, giving me this beautiful scalar energy all the time. So it's infused with that. So I'm excited. And again, anything that we can raise our vibration with. So now we've done our work. We're continuing to do our work. We're raising our vibration. We're in the midst of transformation and change and evolution on the planet. And so as we heal, we raise others up, right? Because as we know, we're all part of that beautiful quantum field, quantum soup. We're all part of it. So we need to infuse it with all this goodness. And then I really believe it comes to the point of we really have to do our work here. And when I say do our work, it's really asking ourselves the question, how can I serve or how can I help? And when we do this, we will be guided. And, it comes different for all of us. Our guidance, it could be to pray more, could be to do exactly what you're doing, but maybe just change the vibration or the energy behind everything we're doing. Not just, that's really what it's all about, right? But so that could be it. Could be go volunteer at a food bank. It could be doing an online talk. I don't know. But really being open and receptive to being guided. And I consider myself, I love to serve. I've been blessed. I've worked hard. I've had many good things in my life and challenges. But now at this point, it really comes down to what has the most meaning is being of service, whatever that means to me and whatever I'm guided to do. So in the Course in Miracles, there is a quote that I open before I open my eyes, just takes 4 seconds or 12 seconds, whatever. And I just say this to myself, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? So what I'm choosing to do in that moment is just say, okay, what do you want me to do, Spirit? Holy Spirit, show me, walk, guide me, lead me, and direct me to where I can do the greatest degree of good in this day. So that's how I start my day is with that dedication and intention to serve. I remember years ago, I saw Wayne Dyer speak more than a few occasions, and his mantra that he lived by is, how may I serve? And he would ask himself that over and over and over. And he was a servant. His life was one of service. So it is, I think, a time for us to be resilient, build ourselves up, and then sort of armor ourselves up so that we can be of the greatest degree of service. Well, Mahatma Gandhi, we all know him, be the change you want to see in the world. What a simple, profound statement and teaching. Well, about service, he says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others. And I think that's so huge because so often we get caught up in our little dramas of life, aches and pains, that we put all of our focus on what we don't want. And we're reinforcing all of these scenarios and everything from the past. And instead of focusing on presence and what can I do in this moment to bring my vibration up and how can I be of greater service to the world, we're too darn focused on meaningless things. And not only is that not worthwhile, it keeps our vibration lower, and it's not productive and not really helping you or anyone else. So we have to always recognize, pull yourself back. And I'm a believer that the more we serve others, we sort of get out of our own stuff, and we're happier when we serve others. So my suggestion would be, and I know we're all in different positions and we have different capabilities, but Spirit will use what we have to be of service if we put out that intention. So be of service, lose ourselves into service of others to be happy. And Cesar Chavez, he was a labor leader, activist, and a voice for the Latino community. And I love this. He said, the end of knowledge should be service to others. And I took that, here's a powerful man who really had such a humble but strong voice for those who didn't have a voice. And as he says, the end of knowledge is ultimately to be of service to others. So I think we spend the way I interpret that is we want that degree, we want that money, we want blah, blah, blah. And then you get to a point and you go, well, I got this, and is that all there is? And ultimately, I think that our true purpose here is to awaken to our oneness, our connection with each other, and to use our blessings as a means of lifting each other up. So, knowledge is a good thing, education's a good thing, but after a while, it becomes much simpler than that. How may I serve? And much more powerful. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. That's a quote directly from Martin Luther King. There are many wonderful things that will never be done if we don't choose to do them. And I think that's a great quote because, if it's not me, who's going to do it, right? So when we get that little ping of inspiration, and service can be, cooking a meal for a sick friend, checking in on a neighbor, making a donation to a worthy organization, being a volunteer at a food bank or an animal shelter or a hospice, whatever. We all have, I think that's why it's important for us to tune into our heart and ask, because when we do that, we're going to be led exactly where we can be the greatest servant. But Tom Brokaw, I like what he says, it's easy to make a buck. It's a lot tougher to make a difference. And that's true, but I think it's so important that we recognize that we are here to make a difference and to be of service. And this is really our noblest calling, is once we've gotten through our chasing the accomplishments and the stuff, to realize, okay, there's something even better here, and devote ourselves to how can I help, whatever that is. And like I said earlier, I believe when we open ourselves up for that, we do get divinely guided. There's ideas that come from spirit that are far greater than anything our little mortal minds can envision or imagine. Well, this quote from Aaron Sorkin, I thought was very appropriate and actually reminded me of Jimmy Carter. And it says, don't ever forget that you're a citizen of this world. There are things you can do to lift the human spirit, things that are easy, things that are free, things you can do every day: civility, kindness, respect, character. Just living in integrity and being civil and kind and respecting each other will lift the universal vibe in a huge way. Simple things. So it doesn't have to be that you do what you would consider a monumental task. I think if millions of us or billions of us come together doing simple acts of kindness, that is more powerful than we ever give it credit for. Jimmy Carter, of course, I was young when he was president, but I always appreciated his gentle spirit and his kindness. And I know there's debate on his role as president, and that's not at all what it's about. But I think that most people would agree that he was a man of character, great character, kindness, compassion. You never hear a criticism of his character and behaviors. And after he left his presidency, he moved back home to Georgia, Plains, Georgia, a little simple town, moved into his home where he came from, nothing grandiose, and went back to his church and taught Sunday school and started Habitat for Humanity, which is talk about service. I mean, it's an organization that builds homes with volunteers and provides homes for people who otherwise could not afford to live in their own home. And you see many pictures over the years of him in his blue jeans and his work clothes, and he's got a nail in his mouth, and he's hammering, and his wife as well. And they were very committed to serving in the way they were led to serve. So he exemplified so many things that are good and kind and uplifting for all of humanity. And we all have that ability if we just open ourselves up to it. Another quote from the Course in Miracles that is one of my favorites, and it's another great mantra to live by. And it goes, I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. And to me, that's a direct intention statement that I'm willing to get out of the way, and I'm only here to be truly helpful. I'm here to serve. How can I help? Holy Spirit, work through me, show me where to go, what to do, what to say. And knowing that Spirit goes with me everywhere I go, we are healed as we heal others, because that is ultimately part of our healing process, is the awakening of the collective mind. So I wasn't a big Lord of the Rings. I'm not really into Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, but I know a lot of people are, obviously. Just not my kind of Harry Potter. That's just not my stuff. But I know people love it, and that's a great thing. But I do love this quote that came from Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. And he says, some believe that it's only great power that can hold evil in check, but that's not what I have found. I found it's the small things, everyday deeds by ordinary folk, that keeps the darkness at bay. Yes. So again, collectively, the more we can infuse our day-to-day being, our moment-to-moment being with love, kindness, compassion, then, those are the things that can combat evil or darkness. And evil to me is just where it's absence of light, it's fear, it's darkness, and we're here to lift each other up. So again, resilience, raise your vibration, be kind. How can I help? What can I do? And believe me, you will be led and guided in ways you can't even imagine. This quote was always one of my favorites. And it says, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. So if you're seeking more joy in your life, get out of your stuff and into your heart and into service. And I'm going to wrap this up with a quote from Jimmy Carter. And he says, I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, whenever I can, and as far as I can. I'm sorry, I messed this up big time. And I'm going to start over because it's worthy of not messing up. I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have, to try to make a difference. So we all are unique. We all have gifts, but I believe that this is our holiest of purposes here, is to come together in love, to be guided and ask, how can I help? Hope this inspires you a little bit to ask that question, and look forward to seeing you next week at 11:11. And in the meantime, be blessed, be well, and have a great day. Namaste.